There's no business like mafia crime. Yeah, the Godfather may have said it best when he claimed that it's not a business, it's personal. But which mafia crimes are the most profitable? Stay tuned as we count down the most profitable mafia crimes. Number 5. Protection rackets. For those of you unfamiliar with the term, protection rackets are when you pay money to someone in order to protect you from harm. In many cases, this means paying someone not to beat you up or harm your business. It could also be the mob paying you a visit and telling you that they want a cut of your profits in exchange for protecting you. Either way, the protection racket is one of the oldest forms of racketeering that exists. Even Al Capone got his start by working for a notorious gangster named Johnny Torrio. Torrio ran a protection racket, but realized that he needed someone to handle the actual violence. This is how Capone got his start. As the saying goes, violence is the last refuge of a scoundrel. And many people believe that it's better to pay the mafia than risk getting hurt. And let's face it, the mafia has a reputation that precedes them. If you own a restaurant or a small business, you may feel compelled to pay a protection racket, especially if there's been threats to your safety or the safety of your employees. For illegal gambling, most Americans love a good bet. Only about 26 states allow sports betting. So what does this mean for the other 24? Well, illegal gambling is still quite popular. From underground casinos to bookies that take bets on sporting events, there's a lot of money to be made in illegal gambling. In fact, it's estimated that illegal gambling nets around $300 billion per year in the United States alone. Part of the reason why it's so popular is because the house always wins in the end. Illegal gambling is rampant throughout Las Vegas. Even though sports betting was legalized in 2018, there are still plenty of illegal gambling rings operating across the country, according to the American Gaming Association. Nearly 95 million adults placed illegal sports bets in 2021. Of course, illegal gambling isn't just limited to sports. Card games, slot machines, roulette wheels, and dice games are all commonly played and often run by the mafia. 3. Human trafficking. When you think of the mafia, you might think of Italian men in gray suits running illegal gambling rings and brawling in dark back rooms. However, the modern mafia is very different from their Cosa Nostra ancestors. Today, the mafia is involved in a wide variety of crimes, including human trafficking. In fact, human trafficking is now the second largest criminal industry in the world, second only to drug trafficking. Every year, millions of people are trafficked around the world for purposes including sexual slavery, forced labor, and even organ harvesting. And the worst part is that it's happening right under our noses. According to Polaris, a nonprofit organization that works to combat human trafficking, there are an estimated 24.9 million victims of human trafficking worldwide. And while the mafia isn't solely responsible for this number, they do play a significant role. One way the mafia is involved in human trafficking is through the sex trade. Many women who are trafficked into the sex industry are lured with false promises of high pay and exciting jobs. Once they arrive at their destination, however, they quickly realize that they are trapped and being exploited for the financial gain of others. The mafia also uses force and violence to control their victims. They often threaten their families back home in order to keep them in the sex trade. Additionally, the mafia will frequently charge exorbitant fees for the services of trafficked women. So not only are these women being exploited, but they are also bringing in a lot of money for the mafia. Another way that the mafia is involved in human trafficking is through labor. They will often traffic people from poor countries to work in low-paying, dangerous jobs. These jobs could include anything from cleaning houses to working in factories. Again, the mafia uses force and violence to control their victims. They will frequently threaten their families back home in order to keep them working for the mafia. Additionally, the mafia doesn't have to pay their victims very much since they are desperate for money. This means that the mafia is able to make a lot of profit from exploiting these people. 2. Drug trafficking. The mafia has long been involved in the illegal drug trade, and for good reason. There's a lot of money to be made. In fact, the global illegal drug market is worth an estimated $400 billion. That's more than the GDP of some countries. So what exactly does the mafia do in the drug trade? Well, they're involved in every aspect of the business, from growing the drugs to trafficking them to the end user. The mafia also launders the money they make from the drug trade. This is important because it allows them to make more money and avoid detection from law enforcement. The mafia launders money through a variety of methods, including setting up legitimate businesses that they use to funnel drug money through. One way the mafia has gotten around law enforcement is by using cryptocurrencies to launder money. Cryptocurrencies are digital currencies that use cryptography for security. This makes them difficult to trace, which is appealing to criminals looking to launder money. The mafia has taken advantage of this by using cryptocurrencies to buy and sell drugs. They've also used them to launder money from other criminal activities. This has allowed the mafia to continue to thrive, despite law enforcement efforts to crack down on them. Number 1. Loan sharking. Loan sharking is the practice of lending money at extremely high interest rates. This is often done to people who are desperate for money and have few other options. Loan sharks are typically involved in organized crime, and they use the money they earn to fund other criminal activities. In many cases, loan sharks target people who are already struggling financially. They know that these people are desperate for money and are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. This includes paying exorbitant interest rates on loans. The mafia has long been involved in loan sharking, and it's one of their most profitable activities. When you need money from a loan shark, you're usually desperate. That means you'll agree to almost any terms to get the cash. Loan sharks typically charge interest rates of 10% or higher. This means that if you borrow $1,000, you'll owe $1,100 back, and that's just for 1 week. The mafia uses the money they earn from loan sharking to fund other criminal activities. This includes illegal gambling, drug trafficking, and extortion. In some cases, loan sharking is done in order to finance violence. For example, the mafia may lend money to a rival gang in order to start a violent turf war. As you can see, the mafia is involved in a wide range of illegal activities. While these organizations have existed for centuries, their involvement in contemporary white-collar crimes shows that they are constantly adapting and evolving. The mafia has been able to stay ahead of law enforcement by using new technologies such as cryptocurrencies. They've also been able to expand their criminal activities to include white-collar crimes. As a result, the mafia continues to be a major criminal threat around the world. What do you think of the most profitable mafia crimes? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.